taking that chip, the Most High is going to make it a way for the elect not to take it. You're going to protect the elect, because it's all about the elect. We've been telling you, brothers, since we came on YouTube, it's all about the elect.
I know you from somewhere, right? You're a newscaster?
Yeah, he's from the news.
What is it? You know about us. Are you Jew? Are you a Jewish? Are you Jewish? What are you? Italian?
Christian.
Oh, really? What does the word Christian mean?
No, someone who follows Christ.
Okay, good. He says someone who follows Christ. You're talking about the Christ in the Bible?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, what color is that Christ?
No idea.
No idea. So you don't read the Bible?
Yeah, I've read the whole thing, actually.
You read the whole Bible?
Yes, I did.
So then you would know the color of Christ.
I don't remember that being mentioned. I may have missed it.
Give me that. Since he missed it, we're going to refresh his memory. Since he read the whole Bible.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
That's John the Revelator seeing a vision of the Lord coming down from heaven.
Clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girt about the path with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Now go back to his hair.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
What does it mean by his head and his hairs were white like wool? What do you think? Okay, that's that. Well, he had gray hair.
Right, yeah.
You have young people. There's this girl I know I grew up with. At the age of like 23, she got a full head of gray hair,
Yeah, I've
white
seen
hair.
that. It's weird.
That's from peroxide.
His ministry is 30.
Hydrogen peroxide
30 years
coming
old
through your
today.
system, like you. That's from peroxide. Okay, that's within your system. So it said he had white hair, but what else did it say?
Like wool.
Like wool. So it's talking about the texture of his hair. Who has woolly hair? You don't know who has woolly hair? Come on. Come on. Does this hair look? Hold on. Wait on. This is the perfect example. Does this hair look woolly to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what would you say when you read that all over again? Read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Meaning his head and his hairs, the hairs on his face because they wore beards because that was pursuant to the law,
Right.
and the hair on the top of his head was also white and woolly. What people do you know on the planet Earth have woolly hair?
Africans.
Okay, good. So you're saying that the people, the blacks in this country, the so-called Negroes, are you saying that they're Africans?
Descent. No, they're Americans.
But are you saying that the so-called the Negroes, the African Americans,
Right.
all right, are you saying that they descend from Africa?
Yes.
Okay, now listen.
Egypt again.
This is Moses speaking to the children of Israel in the wilderness. And basically, when you read the whole chapter, the first 15 verses goes into the blessing that Israel will receive.
All right, that's fire. That's fire right there. You know, call halal Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai. And in the end, hey, look. The reason why I'm playing this, well, for several reasons. Okay, but you know, in the end of this, in the end of their transaction that they had, their not transaction, but you know, dialogue that the apostles had, and all the apostles were there, by the way. Call halal Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is a very powerful video. You know, anyhow. You know, at the end of it, Apostle Tahar basically, you know, told him what he needed to know, that your ass is going into slavery, period, point blank. And don't get it twisted. Tucker Carlson knew exactly, you know, what these men were talking about. He knew exactly what the apostles, not these men, all right, you know, but what the apostles, beloved apostles, were talking about. He knew exactly what they were going into. Tucker Carlson is not stupid, all right. Remember the scripture said Esau is wiser than Daniel. He's not stupid, and he knows exactly what they were.
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would be.
What do you mean? It would prove who Abram's descendants are and who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world?
Well,
and everybody
this is the only country in the world that you've said has this covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about people who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
Well, you've just said.
I mean,
that
there are
it's
converts to Judaism, so
you just told
they
me,
can make Aliyah. They may not have.
You've just
DNA.
told me that it doesn't matter. You told me moments ago, I'm trying to keep track.
Okay.
That it doesn't matter whether or not you believe in God or whether or not you practice Torah Judaism or Rabbinic Judaism, which is something else that I don't even know if we should, I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't matter whether you're, quote, a religious Jew or not. What matters is that you are part of the Jewish people to whom God gave this land that extends from the Nile to the Euphrates. And so if you believe that, wouldn't you want to know with a burning passion who those people are? And because of science, we can now know who those people are. So why aren't we finding out?
I guess you could propose a DNA test for everybody who comes here, everybody who lives here. But the point
I'm comfortable with secular nation states where none of this is done on the basis of blood. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'll just say that.
But there are people who may not have bloodlines, but who have converted to Judaism. Are they going to be able to live here? Are you going to kick them out?
By your standards?
But there are people who may not have bloodlines, but who have converted to Judaism. Are they going to be able to live here? Are you going to kick them out?
In ours. So who knows what happened? Anyway, here's the story from Tucker and his team. Let's put this up here on the screen. Tucker Carlson, quote, detained in Israel, journalist dragged into an interrogation room as explosive interview sparks a diplomatic firestorm. So Tucker told the Daily Mail that his producer, shortly after the interview, Israeli officials confiscated his passport, hauled one of his colleagues off to an interrogation room. Quote, men who identified themselves as airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer into a side room, and then demanded to know what we spoke to Ambassador Huckabee about. Quote, it is bizarre. We are now out of the country. This immediately ignited a major firestorm, especially from Israeli defenders. Let's put their response up here on the screen. The Israeli foreign minister insists, quote, contrary to reports, Tucker Carlson and his entourage were not detained, delayed, or interrogated. Mr. Carlson and his party were politely asked a few routine questions in accordance with standard procedure applied to many travelers. Did you note that? Many AKA not all travelers,
right.
Many travelers. The conversation took place in a separate room within the VIP lounge solely to protect their privacy and to avoid conducting such a discussion in public. No unusual incident occurred, and Israel Airports Authority firmly rejects other claims. So basically,
so there you have it. Okay, hey, so there it goes. I went back and did the research and found what I was looking for here. And here's the screenshot. All right, here it is. Take the screenshot of this and read what it's saying. There you go. All right, read what this is saying. This is going directly into the lesson. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, on whom I learn from daily. Hey, just like this lesson right here. All right, hey, this is going into a good old Tucker Carlson. I mean, we know he's an Edomite. All right, we know he's an Edomite. There's another video I want to show you. You know, and we'll go into it. Matter of fact, I don't know if I'll put it up before this or after this, but you heard what Tucker Carlson say. We all understand that DNA is a science, falsely so called. We get it. We know what it is. But again, like the video that was put that you just that you just watched it. That was only like half of it, or a portion of the video, that the brother had put up there, going into Tucker Carlson, basically, asking the asking the tough questions, right? Yeah, he's starting to see, like, wait a minute, man, these people are liars, just like the scripture said would happen. All right, as Elder Malcolm would call them, the Khazar deniers. Matter of fact, that reminds me of a screenshot I need to pull up, of the elder bringing up one of these books. All right, one of these books that they now want 25,000, 2,500, 25 something. It ain't $25.99, I can tell you that. All right, and yeah, they want all kinds of money for a while because the truth, that has been so long without fruit is being declared upon the earth through the prophets. So we're going to read this. This is AI generated. All right. Khazarian converts. All right. To JEUUUs. The Khazars are believed to have converted to Judaism in the 8th or the 9th century. Come back and fact check me on this. All right. This conversation is initiated by King Bulan, who, along with the ruling class, adopted Judaism as the state religion. All right, and the reason why they adopted that is because basically they covet fields and take them by violence. A man in his house and a man and his heritage. It's all prophecy. All right, and Esau Edom, the so-called white man, fits it to a T. He fits it. Just like the curses fit you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled bird. Don't get it twisted and don't get in your feelings. This whole colorism thing is a bunch of nonsense that was actually given to you by Esau Edom himself, just to further confuse everybody, in their folly. Straight up. Anyhow, the Khazar Empire, located between the Black Sea and Caspian Seas, served as a significant buffer between the Christian Byzantine Empire, right, and the Islamic caliphates. It's lucky if I said it wrong. All right, which influenced their religious decisions. Let's go here. Historical context. This is what I wanted. And again, I mentioned Elder Malcolm because there's a screenshot. This lesson's going to take me some time and a bit of research, but I don't mind doing it for truth's sake, not at all. You see that? There's a screenshot that he had pulled up from one of those books I was just speaking of that they now want absorbent amount of money for a while because the truth is there. And some of these books like Arthur Kessler, The 13th Tribe, there's a bunch of books out there and a bunch of research that can be done, but, your mainstream people, your 2/3 and your laser lights, lazy Israelites, they're not going to do it. They're not going to study. They're not going to study to show they're self-approved. They're going to, with every wind of doctrine, they're going to be tossed to and fro. And that's that. And again, this is all prophecy. It's what it is. Anyway, during the 9th century, where it was noted as curiosity, the Khazar state became a notable-ish center, although its connections to the broader ish world were limited. Did you hear that? We're limited, right? So look, you got a lot of people out there that will say the Hebrews. Well, you got to understand that Esau Edom's Hebrew himself. Okay, you gotta dig a little deeper, and get past, these scriptures, as Christians do, just read them for face value, and pick and choose. But they got the nerve to call us doing Hebrew hopscotch. When the scripture said, precept must be upon precept. Anyhow, contemporary perspective, recent scholarship has debated that extent and nature of this conversation, with some historians question the traditional narrative of widespread conversation. Nevertheless, Slakia, nonetheless, same thing, right? The Khazar conversation remains a significant topic in discussions about Ish history and identity. And guess what? Like the scripture goes into, they have been what? They've been identified. And in fact, they are the Amalekites. And now, now check this out. Now, I got another clip to show you. I got another clip to show you. I might as well just put them all in the beginning. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Just bear with me. It is what it is. All right. But there's another clip now that them Amalekites got pissed off after that interview that he had done with that ambassador, Mike Huckabee. Right. He's nothing more than a enabler, to these damn devils, to the first of the nation. Right. Amalek, the first of the nation. You can clearly see that they are. All right. But his ass, Tucker Carlson, got his ass detained. Where? Over there in the state of Israel. Why? Because he did that interview and Amalek got all up in their feelings and got pissed off. And they fired a shot over the bow. They said, no, you can't be, no. You can't be saying that kind of thing, especially over there in our land. Oh, man. Anyhow, let's go here. I've rambled on enough. I'm going to read one scripture. I'm going to show you this clip of him his ass getting detained. All right. Numbers 20. I'm just going to do it all before and just read the scriptures and, go like that. Go like this. Numbers 24 and verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, who's Amalek? That's the head tribe of the Edomites, man. All right. That's the people over there claiming to be Yahweh. All right. And they also say Levi, which, Levi. They say we're either Levi or what they call Yehuda. They call Yehuda, which is, that's all going off. You had that guy, Benjamin, I think it's Ben. His name is Ben Eleazar, right? Who took it upon himself to change up the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, okay? He changed it all up, put vowel points in it, and the shit don't even sound right. Matter of fact, the pronunciation of the word Yiddish itself don't even sound right. So that's off. It's off. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, I'll turn them over to a pure language in these last days. And that's that. All right. When he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. Can you not see with all that lobbying? Can you not see it with everybody going over there and bowing down, kissing that dumbass rock? Do you not see that? Putting on small hats, all kinds of damn, everybody that's in charge or, has a foothold on any institution, monetary institutions or what do you call it, or media. They are all small hatters, man. Each and every one of them, all of them. And you cannot deny that the big corporations, all right, it's all there. And guess what? It's already been written in the scriptures. You just got to know where to look. You got to have the eyesight, and that's that. All right. Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And that is also prophesied in the scriptures. All right. These other nations, they're gonna find some type of mercy and be able to dwell in peace, but it has to be under the elect, man. It has to be under the throne of David, and that's that. And that's and if you the ones, as the scripture said, the ones who will not serve thee shall utterly perish. Let's get that right quick. Okay. Come on. There we go. All right, let's go here. Yeah. Isaiah the 60th chapter. Our gate shall be open continually. Here we go. Yeah, for the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee. Ooh. It's heavy, man. It's heavy, man. I'll go straight to the point. Now, verse 11 reads, therefore, this is Isaiah 60th chapter, verse 11. Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. Why? Because we ain't got nothing to fear. Not in the kingdom of heaven. Nah. New bodies, the law, statutes, and commandments, things that we couldn't even possibly understand. Now all up in us, man. Our first estate as gods upon this earth, man. And that's how it's going to be. Okay? I'm just saying. You know, and that's what we're really striving for, man. If you look, man, there ain't nothing here for us. Nothing but and even in the end, which is now vastly approaching, it's going to get worse. Jacob's trouble is all here. All right, thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. All right. Now, I understand that these lessons, a lot of people won't even, get this far into a lesson or whatever, because they just won't do it. Jake's got the attention span of a damn goldfish. Not to mention they like bright and shiny things and what do you call that? Young and the Restless type shit. Jake just likes that shit, man. It is. As a matter of fact, the whole world likes that kind of thing. Hey, I'm into the mystery so we can get the history so we can get the mystery, man. That's what's up. And even the scripture talks about that. All right. Deuteronomy 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who was like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars. All right. They shall be what? They shall be found liars. Hey, look, man. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it, perfectly, just like it is. Mike Huckabee is not a stupid individual. He's a very intelligent man. Mike Huckabee knows exactly what he's doing, but he looked straight at Tucker Carlson and said, I don't know how to answer that. What would you want us to do? Wouldn't DNA? I don't understand how that could help anything. And honestly, to be honest, 100% with you, it really won't help anything because, excuse me, Salakia, with DNA, all right, with DNA, you got to have a control. Anybody who's ever done any experiments or done any kind of chemistry or whatever, you have to have a control. And what a control is a set measure, if you will. It's take for instance, it's a known thing. Let's just go to it. Let me finish this first. All right. Your enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. So let's go to scientific control. Let's do that. All right. Scientific control. Subject or minimize the effects of, no, that's not really what I wanted. I wonder, is the types of controls. Positive control, a group expected to show a known response, confirming the experiment is working. Do you see what that means? See what that said? A known response. So you got to have a known substance. Take, for instance, if you have a lump of silver or a lump of gold and it is 100% pure, 99.999% pure, then that's your control. You know exactly what it is. So you would be testing, a regular, I don't know, a rock, a piece of granite or whatever against that gold, right? A tester of metals, the scriptures goes into that too. But you would be testing, any other precious metal or metal itself against that pure gold to see, what percentage it is. So in other words, what I'm getting at is this. For them to do their false science, and it's falsely so-called, that DNA stuff, that means that they would have to have the actual DNA, the actual blood, the actual, components of DNA of the original Hebrew Israelites. And how do you do that? You see, this is a spiritual book. It's a spiritual thing. You can't do that. And the scriptures give us guidance and understanding on how we know we're Israelites and how to spot one. The spiritual eye salve, man, this is easy. Okay? It's easy. Isaiah 19 and verse 2, because this is what's happening right here. All right? You saw, I'm just going to go ahead and put it all up in there. You saw after that interview, and he was only there for like 2 hours, right? After that interview, they detained his ass. And they listen, it wasn't just a stern talking to, I can guarantee that. It was probably all kinds of threats and, whatever, whatnot. Okay? You know, and the people are going to see this, man. Look, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has put a spirit on all the people, you know, whether they were Israelites or not, on all the people to see through, you know, to see these things that are happening. So you know, hey, listen, if something were to happen, you know, tragically to Tucker Carlson, or I don't know, he just so happened to fall down 3 flights of steps, you know, upside down, handcuffed. He didn't do it himself. You know, or he just slipped up and took too many Ambiens and had a bottle of Jack Daniels. you understand what I'm saying? If something like that happened, you know, the people would be like, nah. And this directly after an interview he did with Mike Huckabee, basically, and put his ass on the spot, made him look stupid. Huh? Isaiah 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. All right? And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at its presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right? Verse 2 reads, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Not seen that happening? You can go to Exodus. You know, hey, these Egyptians, or you can go to Revelation 11 and verse 8. And it tells you that this place, America, a.k.a. Babylon, amongst other names, is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So this is what's happening. You don't see it. 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter going down. The 6th chapter is going down. The 8th chapter. All right? He's doing it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. Hey, we all know what the scripture said. A kingdom divided cannot stand. Satan rising up against Satan right here in the book of Matthew. 12 verse 26. And if Satan, it's red letters too. You see that? 25 reads, and Hamashiach Yahushua the anointed knew their thoughts and said unto them what he say. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or a house divided against itself shall not stand. Uh-oh. You know, hey, you got that illusion of the Republicans and Democrats, what they all the same, because you ain't seeing shit done about these JE files or none of the atrocities that were done to the people of Israel, you know, to the Israelites from your prospective tribe. Ain't nothing ever been done about that. But they get all up in arms and sweaty and, you know, upset and get, you know, they get that high voice. Like, what crimes? You know, when something happens to one of their people, oh my God, we're losing our farms. We don't know what to do. The price of beef. Yeah, I got something else on that too. The price of beef is so high. The groceries are high. Why are they pulling all this? I got all kinds of videos. That's a whole nother lesson. You know, they pulling all kinds of beef off the shelves of Walmart and all that, which, you know, you shouldn't be buying no beef or meat from Walmart anyway. But, you know, the scripture said that we're going to eat our bread defiled amongst the heathens, man. Okay? Anyway, verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. He shall then, Slakia, how shall then his kingdom stand? It's through. You can't tell this place is finite, baby. It's dungy, man. It's done, man. It's completely finished, man. And our people are completely finished with it. They're going to be missile food. You know, anyhow, stay tuned. Okay, so that takes us to the book of Mark 3 and verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. I mean, hey, straight to the point. You see that? Straight to the point. So, yeah, there's a myriad of clips there and all that. But, hey, we see what's going on, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is working a great work on this earth, man. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Hey, and every chance you get, chant this place down, because, hey, that's exactly what's going on. Matter of fact, that's what we're doing every day, complaining to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. Shalom. Much love to you, family.